Welcome to video 7. Change happens when your body begins to mind. Here in this video, we'll be talking about the masks that we wear. As we go through life, we're conditioned, socially conditioned, given these narratives, these stories about how we should appear in the world. And this results in us building this facade that we present. We become so accustomed to living behind that facade that we are duped into thinking that's who we actually are. It's only by actually looking at those masks and gently, when the time is right, removing some of them. We're so heavily masked that we've actually lost sight of ourselves. Gradually removing these masks help us to begin to divulge our authentic self, not known to the external world, but to ourselves. We see ourselves, a reflection of who we actually were when we came into this world. Masking can have a deep effect on our eyes, the way we're seen, the way we see, our perception of the world. And when it has been conditioned through narratives, our perception often morphs into a misconception. So we see things differently than they actually are. It's the same with our hearing. We hear things differently. We don't hear the authentic communication. We don't hear and recognize and align with our greatest potential because we've allowed others to whisper in our ear about all that we can become. It's fascinating when we go through these layers and we begin to allow ourselves to be seen. When we open up to a new possibility for seeing the world. You'll notice that this part of our face here in our society holds a lot of tension, often manifesting as TMJ. And we've been conditioned to hold back, to bite down, to compress, especially things like anger. We can't have permission to express that. We've often had to become tight-lipped to keep what it is that we want to express into the world our secret. We don't have permission to express that. So there's a lot of this conditioning and narratives and stories that we have allowed to permeate our being that have had a colossal effect on what I call the ocular level, the eyes and the ears. We've become heavily masked and we've listened to untruths about our own capacities. And we now have an opportunity through awareness and consciousness to begin to remove those masks so we can again appear in the form of who we originally were. I think that there's a longing that exists in our mouth, and it's the longing to actually sit and feast at the table of our pure potential. That is the greatest longing that we can have as a human. So I wish you well, and I thank you once again for joining me on this series of videos.